Alright, so this is 3.6 Introduction to Circles. Before we get going, it's going to be helpful if you know the equation of a circle. And I don't want you to have to try to memorize something new, so I want to show you where it comes from and just a subtle difference. And this problem here does not want much, but once you identify the equation, you can solve this pretty easily. So first, if you remember the distance formula, distance gives you the distance between 2 points. Distance formula is equal to big square root. We have x2 minus x1 quantity squared, and then we have plus, and then parentheses y2 minus y1 quantity squared. So this is the distance formula. Now, if we square both sides, so if I do d squared, that's going to equal to this whole thing squared this whole thing squared. Okay, so the square and the square root cancel out, and so you're left with just d squared equals, the square root goes away, we're left with x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. Alright, so we're almost there. A couple more things we're going to do. So instead of using 2 points, we're going to use 1 point. So we're going to call this x1, and we're going to change this to h, this to a k, and then this to a r, and that will be our formula of a circle. So it basically comes from distance formula. Instead of d, we call this r squared for radius, and then we call this x minus h. Okay, so instead of using 2 points, x1, x2, we just one x value and an h value, and it's still squared, plus this is y minus k, still squared. This is the equation of a circle. Okay, so it comes straight from the distance formula. Alright, now normally they will put this r squared on the other side, but it doesn't matter. So sometimes you might see it like this: x minus h quantity squared plus y minus k quantity squared equals r squared. Okay, so this is the equation of a circle, where r, whatever this is, the square root of it, if it's a number, r is the radius. And notice these have minus signs on them, but when you write them down, the center is the ordered pair h, k. Okay, so notice I didn't put minuses in front of them, so you need to be aware of that. Whatever the sign is here, you're going to do the opposite here. So if this had been a plus sign, you would write a negative h, and vice versa. Alright, so this is what we need. So we want to find the standard form of the equation for a circle for this problem, with the center -2, -1, and radius of 7. So all I'm going to do is take this equation and I'm going to plug in those values. So I have x minus, and then they told me the h value was a -2. So minus a -2 will be a +2 squared, and then plus we have the y minus, and it's a -1, so it'll be +1 because minus a negative. And then the r is 7 squared, running out of room, 7 squared, which we can just go ahead and write 49. So 7 squared would be 49. That's the way you would see that. So I just went ahead and did the 7 squared and got 49. Okay. So this is what we're going to type in. This is our answer. This is the equation of a circle in standard form. But you know where the equation comes from distance formula, and we just have to type that in. So x plus 2 quantity squared plus y plus 1, quantity squared, and then equals 49.